Today we're going to be making something so revolutionary. It's earth-shattering, it's groundbreaking, and it holds dirt. That's right, we're making a DIY planter box. So grab your tools and you better get a broom because we're going to have a lot of sawdust. This will hold almost 3 cubic feet. You can put your plants in it, you can put your seeds in it, and you can sell it. And if you happen to see any items that you want in this video, those products will be linked. And as a Lowe's partner, the channel will receive a small commission. Let's get into the build. We're going to cut 4 boards to 45 inches and 4 boards to 10 inches. I'm trimming these edges off, so I'm going to glue these together, and I just want to get a good glue joint with a clean, smooth edge. I'm applying some glue, but I'm leaving some gaps here, and the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to use some CA glue to act as clamps to hold it in place. I'll squeeze it together briefly, and then I'm going to put some clamps on these with light clamping pressure. I'm going to be adding internal bracing vertically in the centers of the span of each one of these sidewall panels. And we're using the same process here for the short end pieces. When I say light clamping pressure on these clamps, I mean light clamping pressure. You know, you can use cauls and all that, but I just clamped it just tight enough to make sure that I wasn't going to be bowing my board. So here is your basic box with 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch strips of pressure treated, glued and brad nailed to the bottom to retain the bottom boards. Now let's go with some 1x1 square corner posts for supports to help tie everything together. We're going to screw, brad nail, and glue these from all 4 sides. You'll see at the end of the video, I go back and reinforce with 1 1/4 inch decking screws. Now this is a board that has a 45-degree cut ripped down one edge, and this is going to be the cleat retaining board. Since the back of this is going to sit flush against the window, you need to just have square cuts on the back edge. You can see that right there. You want to make sure this backside is positioned correctly like this so the load is transferred back to the house side. Now this board right here is going to depend on the siding. You want to make sure that that top cleat and that bottom board are the same thickness. Here I'm using this spline, or some might call it a key jig, to shore up these corners where they're mitered to help keep them together through the expansion and contraction. I'm going to take a couple passes here to minimize chipping and just a nicer cut. I chose to make this spline a little proud here, but you can really do whatever you want. Let me know in the comments, do you think it would look better flush or like that? It's all ready for light sanding.